So welcome back to another episode of Build and Drive, where today we're going to be swapping out the suspension in our BMW E90. Lord of mercy. So what you're going to need to change the struts on your E90 is, of course, you're going to need some suspension components. These are the Bilstein B12 struts. They're designed to work with the eibach springs, which we have on the car. And it just allows the car to be lowered a bit, as they are the sport version. The regular ones do stand a bit taller so that you have some more suspension travel, but when you have the eibach lowering springs, it is a bit shorter to allow for that. So of course this is designed via the Nürburgring, Nordschleife, built and tested, made in Germany. So I have these on the rear of the car, and now we're going to swap out the fronts. What you're going to need is your tools, of course. You're going to need a spring compressor. So I bought this one off of Amazon. I'll link it down below. Of course, you're going to need a jack, some jack stands, and you're going to need some of these spanners. I think you need a 22 and an 18 to get at the lower control arm, not the tie rod end, but the lower control arms, to loosen them, to allow the whole knuckle to swing down so that you can pull the strut out. I'm not undoing them or anything like that. I'm just gonna pull it down and swing it out. So let's get started. So first thing you want to do is loosen your lug nuts. You're gonna jack up the car. I normally jack up the car from the rear, and I put a jack stand on the front, and then we'll take off the wheel and we'll take a look at what we're doing here.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Safety first, guys. So first order of business is we're gonna undo front sway bar linkage here. It also holds the brake line in place. We're gonna undo this bolt as well here that attaches the strut to the knuckle. And then we're going to loosen these guys. There's a bolt back here. I guess I gotta take this off to get at it. And then there's another bolt. Sorry. Once that's loose, we're gonna undo these as well. This one and this one on the lower control arm to get this to swing down. And of course we'll undo the top. There are 3 bolts at the top that you have to enter from inside engine compartment. So let's see if we can do this. Okay, so let's undo this. It's a 16. Oh, I see. You gotta hold this bolt back here. There's a bolt right there. Okay, so I think I need to jack up both sides of the car to do this. Okay, I've jacked up both sides of the car. This now comes out nice and easy, freely. So push that to the side, push this to the side. And now I guess we'll undo these 2 bolts here, this one and this one. So what I'm doing is I just have the breaker bar on the other side holding it against the ground, and then I'm undoing it from here. Alright, well there's that off. And then we're going to zip these off. It's a 13mm socket. The last one you'll have to get at with a little spanner, 13mm spanner. Alright, so now that those 3 bolts are out, this moves freely, but the problem is we have to now undo these 2 lower control arm bolts so that we can loosen it up enough to get them out. So We're almost there. I've loosened up that one. I had to take this piece off a little bit to get my ratchet in there. We've loosened up that one quite a bit. That really helped it to come down a bit more. And I've also just loosened this because I've taken this off its bracket just to give it the brake line a bit more play there. Because as you can see, there are some cracks forming at the wear part, but I think it's okay. I'm gonna put this jack underneath here just to support it for when we take this out. So now, let's see if we have enough space to pull this out without screwing up the paint. And with millimeters to spare. Wow. Now let's get the jack under it. Next, you need to, I have a little chisel that I'm gonna wedge in between there to open up this little kind of bracket so that this this can slide out. It's coming. You can see there's a little gap there. It's coming. Alright, so I WD-40'd it. This chisel and wedge kind of thing came in handy quite a bit. And I now can take that out. So, there it is. I mean, it's not that hard to do, it's just a little annoying. And maybe we'll put some grease on that so that we can get the other ones back in. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a spring compressor on this, release the tension on the eibach springs, and then we're gonna take that nut off. I think it's a 19 or 22 or something, and then we'll be good to go. For some reason, this one's missing this lining tool thing, which is interesting. All right, so we bought these spring compressors. They look pretty basic, just some regular iron or steel, whatever this is. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook this up like so on either side. And then we're going to, take the pressure off the spring. Now normally you should definitely not Okay, now let's start the other side as well. Up, but I think I made a mistake here where I should have maybe tried to grab onto here, as you can see, because we need to still compress this just a little bit more to get it on. I think, I don't know, I think I'm gonna try to swap this up here somehow. I don't know yet. So I've repositioned it now, and I know that it's good because I can actually turn this pretty easily. So hopefully that's enough pressure off this top cap that we can take it off and put it back on. I'm kind of worried about this top and bottom piece that it may stretch out a bit, and we'll have to kind of fight with it to put it back in, but let's find out. I recommend that you put this up against the wall. Sort of like that. All right, so no explosions. That's good. Here's the top hat. These bearings sometimes go bad. This feels a little rough. So I'm gonna repack this with grease, just reuse it. I think it's fine, but yeah. All right. I went on like that, and then this should just come out. Like that. Is there a date on these? No, the date's rubbed off. I mean, they feel okay. Sort of rebound. Let's try the new ones. No, can't even push these down very well, so maybe those were pretty worn out. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of this thing. And what you need to do is not forget to add one of these bump stops. Now I ordered some new ones just because I thought maybe these would be old and broken, but they actually look okay. So I assume at some point they were done, but now there's the problem. Damn. These are the stock ones. And this is the like lowered version one. Or has it over time just compressed? How about I just shave off the top there? 313367673333-01. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna shave off the top there with a hacksaw and throw these back in. Throw these ones in. Even though they relatively feel the same, let's just go with the new ones.
The following day.
Also, by the way, as you may have noticed, that bump stop's not supposed to be there at all. And even when I looked at the instructions here, it said nut, spring, bump stop, and then strut, this cover, the blue thing, and then the strut. And I must have, misunderstood something, because that's not supposed to be there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna just cut that out. A lot of people online do not run these because the bump stop is actually built into the bottom of the spring here rather than the top. So I've got my knife. Now, if you're replacing your E90 springs with generic B4 Bilstein B4 springs, this doesn't matter. You want that to be there. But for us, we do not want that to be there. That's a mistake. Now, will it hurt anything? Well, I'm going to find out right now, because I think we'll gain 2 centimeters of travel. So what I'm going to do is just try and cut this off right now. And then we'll tighten up the top bolt. All right, well, I chopped through that one, pulled it out, and now it's just sitting there. I don't think I gained any height, but if this were ever to compress all the way down, I definitely gained, whatever that was, a couple centimeters of clearance. So if you're doing the Bilstein shocks, you don't need this. I think that's it. So now that that top hat is back on, I had to use 2 hands for that. That was a little challenging to do. Just make sure that you replace the 2 rubber boots on the bottom and on the top here. Pushed it all together and put the top bolt back on. And make sure that the spring lines up with the top rubber boot and that the top hat lines up with the spring, so that when you start to take these off, it doesn't get bound up in the wrong spot. So that looks all good to me. So now we can gently start to loosen the pressure here. Watch your fingers. See, that turned and twisted a little bit. All right. So now let's clean up this. We'll clean up in here and we'll shove this back in the car. So when you put this back in, there are two kind of guiding pins that fit into that groove. You guys can see there. Okay, so that's now touching there. We can take this out. So next you want to line up the top hat holes. And I don't know if you can see that, but there should be one with a guide pin, and I realize now that the guide pin on this top hat has been knocked out. The guide pin should go in there. Just keep rotating this around. Need two hands for this. So then, putting it all back together, this is just in reverse. You're gonna reattach this sway bar linkage, and you're going to reconnect this bolt right here. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna jack up this knuckle so that the weight is off of it and this is compressed a little bit, and then you're going to tighten up the lower control arm bolt and also tighten up this one on this side. And oh yeah, we need to put this bracket back on, and I think that's it. So I'm gonna get working on that. All right guys, well that's about it. Everything's back together. Also forgot to mention you need to put this bracket on. It's kind of like a U-shaped and it just attaches right there. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in checking out when we go to the Nürburgring to test these out to see if they're any better than those old worn out ones right there, feel free to subscribe. That was so dangerous. These guys are crazy. And drop a like if this was helpful so more people can see it. More videos on the way. So thank you guys for being patient. First, I'm gonna go enjoy taking apart the other side, doing this all over again a second time. Hopefully it goes a lot quicker. See you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out my other video tutorials on my channel. If any of these videos were helpful to you, consider dropping a like and sharing these videos on social media to help other BMW owners save money fixing their cars. See you guys in the next video.